Hello, everyone, and welcome to Harv's World for another episode of Ravensberg. Yes, we're back in central Germany one more time. Well, probably several more times, but for today, it's one more time. And, frankly, we're in the end of summer, moving toward fall, and even at a whopping 15 times speed, which I forgot to turn back up because, well, I always take a few minutes to set up before I get started with this. Anyway, so what's going on for the end of summer, heading into autumn? Well, I did get these trees cleared out, which means winter work is going to be a little bit more limited because we won't have any trees to cut this winter. But it does mean that I can finally finish off this grass field. I'm just going to smooth this edge up a little bit. Yes, I know it means I'll need to replant it, but so be it. I mean, it's grass. It's not like it's going to be hard to put in, right? Right. So, at the request of one of you who happens to go by the name Juicy, who's been a very, very strong supporter of the channel, and who's enjoying the Ravensberg series, he mentioned that I should probably have a conversation with Frau Baumann about my ownership in some of what I'm building for her. Now, I don't know if ownership is necessarily the right word. She's the owner. But we really didn't discuss pay. I mean, that's not to say I'm not getting paid for this, because I am. In fact, over the course of, it's been almost a year now. Almost a year, and frankly, things are going swimmingly. She has paid me roughly 40,000 euros, for a year's pay. That's not too shabby. I mean, it's not groundbreaking or anything, but I just keep tucking that away into an account for my own personal use. And that's on top of anything we've made on the farm. So, based on Juicy's recommendation, I did go back and have a conversation with Frau Baumann. In fact, we had dinner just to talk about it. And I said, Frau Baumann, while I appreciate, the opportunity and that you're paying me, I feel like I've really, really pushed your dairy farm much farther than what you even anticipated, what you really wanted to get out of it. And I started showing her the numbers, and I said, in less than a year, we've already started selling milk. Not only that, you've gone from 113 cows, and we're going to show you that here in just a second, up to, we're pushing 300 as of today. And I said, I think rather than be on some type of a salary, I think it would be more fair if perhaps I were included in some of the profits. Now, these are always delicate conversations. You don't want to appear greedy. You don't want to appear self-serving. I mean, my first goal is to help her out. That's what she hired me for. I'm not trying to take, and there's one of those sneaky stumps. I told you, those stumps are sneaky. It's hiding out there, trying to break my plow. There's another one right there. Let's see if we can get that out of the way while I know where it's at. There we go. It's just little chips of stumps too. It's not even the full-blown stump. And she was very patient, kind, understanding. She listened. And she said, so Harv, what you're telling me is rather than earn a salary, for you to earn money from the farm as you make it, as you... There we go. They're just little tiny chips. But they were going to be in my way. She said, I can see where that would be beneficial on both sides. And I said, "Oh, how's that?" She said, "Well, I mean, obviously, if you're directly connected to the profits of the farm, that means that you're going to be doing everything you can to maximize the profits. And if we make no profit, you make no pay." And I said, "Well, you put it that way, yeah, that's pretty straightforward and blunt, but that's pretty much the gist of it." And she said, "Done." And I said, "Okay, how much are we talking about?" And she said, "How about 10%? And I said, "I think 20% sounds more fair." And she said, "Well, 20% is just far too high. Let's call it, let's break it even, and we'll call it 15%. And I said, "Okay, you got a deal." So moving forward from this point on, I will be earning 15% off of any profits I make for this farm. So I'm going to keep tucking that money away in an account, and who knows what it could bring in the future. Who really knows? But you have seen, especially in the last few days, exactly what we're able to do on this farm. And that was quick. No problem getting that sorted out whatsoever. Of course there isn't. Why? Because I'm Harv. I'm on it like a car bonnet. So anyway, Juicy, thank you for that suggestion. It was a good idea, and yes, I will be tucking away 15% of all profits from this point forward. So what else is going on today here on the farm? Well, not a lot, I'll be honest with you. We're still waiting on our crops to grow, although I do have clover ready to mow one more time. That's going to get turned into clover hay. And let's take a look at our cattle, because that's going to be big for the future. So I did take Herr Huber up on his deal, or we did strike a deal, and I bought 70 cattle from him for 50,000 euros. And that brings us up to 263. Now our barn only has room for 350, so we're going to be under a little bit of pressure now to find a new place to house cattle. Actually, we're going to be under quite a significant amount of pressure to find new ways to house cattle. Significant pressure indeed. Just because they're growing so dramatically. Now, we started out with 113 cattle, and look at that, 41,000 liters of milk. Let's see if this guy's available today. Milk's running at 13.53. That looks pretty good. And that's going to bring in another 52,000 today. That's 2 days worth of milk, by the way. Bob's your uncle. Started the day, 56,000 euros. Woo and who. And if that was 10%, that'd be 5,600. So I made just about $8,000 today already. 8,000 euros. Good God, I always fall back on dollars. It's what I'm used to. I just have to remember the country. I mean, this is Germany, Harv. This is not the States. Now, checking up on our sunflowers. They are growing up. Look at that. They're starting to bloom up there. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And then, of course, the locals always have work to do, especially fertilizer work. So I do have a helper over in a field right now, field number 1, spreading that manure. But right now, it's time to mow some clover. And the nice thing about clover, I don't know if you remember or not, but when you're working with Maize Plus, clover is not dependent on the weather to turn it into hay, because that's what I want to do with this clover. I want it to become hay. It's just dependent on your tedder. It does take several passes to go across your clover, but that's all it takes. And while this equipment is getting itself unfolded, yes, I did get the grass silage very well compacted. It did take 2 bunkers, however, simply because quirkiness. Let's leave it at that. There was once again a little quirkiness going on. Again, that I attribute to Maize Plus. But hey, what are you going to do? As always, it is what it is. And we're going to fire up our mortars, drop everything down. Let's go ahead and get some of this action going on here. Yeah, that'll do. And there we go. Oh, I don't want an offset though. Maybe I do. Maybe I just want to do that. And get rid of that offset. Ixnay on the offset. Now I want to do, there we go. That's what I wanted. That's better. Okay, we got it now. We got it now. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. Now, with our cattle growing up so quickly, so we started with 113. I bought 70. That takes us up to 183. And then we're up to 263. That means we've had 80 of our own births. That is truly outstanding. That's all kinds of amazing right there. Absolutely amazing. Yes, at this point I'm going to totally justify my windrower purchase because, well, yes, it's been coming in very, very handy. Very handy indeed. It's going to get a lot of use, and leasing it just doesn't make sense anymore. Actually having it on hand, and that reminds me of my next purchase. I am going to buy a sprayer. Because I have been using a sprayer quite frequently also. I was afraid that might happen. I'm going to have to swing over to the right just a little bit because that tree line is going to be in my way if I don't. Although, you know, might it be worth this winter removing that tree line? We might have to merge these 2 fields together. Plant clover somewhere else. And we have finally reached the dog days of summer. The last day of the season. And I realized I wanted to show you a little bit of something because I do get a lot of new players and on my channel, and I just wanted them to be aware of something. Now, right here, you can see I've got a little pile of hay, some grass that turned to hay, but then I've got this fresh cut grass over here. It's only grass semi-dry. And if you're using a loading wagon, you might want to be aware of this little factoid. So I can go through, I can pick up this hay, and it's about 63 liters, nothing of consequence. But now, if I go to pick up this semi-dry grass here, what's going to end up happening is it's going to delete the hay that I picked up and start all over with semi-dry grass. So you have to be aware of that. My understanding is the cutoff is about 3,000 liters. So, you know, you could have 1,000 or 2,000 liters of hay in your wagon, and all of a sudden it disappears because you've picked up something else. So just a little safety tip from me to you. In fact, that might be a little bit of clover hay still sitting right there. Nope, it's only semi-dry clover, but it's turned into semi-dry clover, and it just deleted all of the semi-dry grass I picked up. So keep that in mind if you're ever working along a field like this where you've got grass and clover. What you can do to stop that from happening is just pick up enough clover, you know, whatever you're picking up, whatever you primarily want to pick up. As long as you get enough, in your forage wagon, it will stop converting it. So what I did when I was picking up this clover hay, which I got a significant amount of clover hay off this field, was I just made sure that I was in a section that was 100% clover hay. See, it just deleted it again, and I had a significant amount in there. But I just made sure that I had enough clover hay in my forage wagon before I reached the end of the field where this semi-dry grass was sitting around. So that will protect whatever you're trying to pick up from getting deleted because you accidentally picked up something else. You know, I had many windrows of clover hay laying out here. And so I would just, I would move into the field till I was well beyond any of that semi-dry grass. And, oh, look at that. I've got 14 liters of clover hay. Good. I'll stop there. And then I would start picking up out here in the middle, then move toward the ends. And then I would have enough clover hay in my loading wagon to make sure that if I hit some grass, it wouldn't delete my hay because I wanted to keep the clover hay. How much clover hay did we get anyway? Clover hay right there, 97,000 liters. So we are set for hay. We've got plenty. I think, in fact, we are, with the exception of maybe one more cutting of fresh grass, we are in absolutely fantastic shape for cattle feed. I realize I'm, kind of obsessed with manure and cattle feed, but it is a problem, a very big problem. In fact, I've got an even bigger problem. I know at this point I don't have enough straw to keep my cattle working, and so I need to solve that problem, and I think I have that problem sorted out. I don't have parking this trailer sorted out, but I have that problem sorted out for sure. I think I do anyway. Keep your fingers crossed. So this is my solution. I have gratefully and gladly accepted some work from the farmer who owns Field 36. We are harvesting spelt, and spelt leaves straw. And yes, I can collect this straw and I can take it back to my farm to be used however I want, because quite frankly, the farmer who owns this field is going to do absolutely nothing with it and it will go to waste. And we don't want that when I am in such dire need of straw. I was originally hoping I could get another crop in the field that would provide me with some straw, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. It is what it is, as I always say. And we'll make a little extra money. I'm sure there'll be some leftover spelt. Fingers crossed, anyway. I say that a lot too, don't I? Fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. Well, who put that sign in the way of this field anyway? That's right. That's right. Keep your signs out of my way. We're farming here. We're farming. There's no need for signs to be in the way. So I opted to have a helper come in and finish up the harvesting here on field 36, simply so that I could run back, grab the the loading wagon and come in here and start bringing in this straw, because it is going to be quite a bit. There's going to be, for a small field, this is going to bring a lot of straw, which is what I really, really, really need. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Where there's a will, there's a way, there's always a solution. There's always a solution. And this time, the solution was depending on the locals. Very nice. So I'm going to keep collecting straw. I'm going to get this crop delivered. It's not going to pay much. About 3,000 euros. It wasn't a big contract or anything, but I really wasn't doing it for the money this time. I was doing it for the straw, which is going to help our cattle farm, which is what I'm all about. So I'm going to collect straw, get this contract finished off, and see what else needs to be done around the farm in preparation for fall coming in. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Ravensberg. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. As always, I very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.